In this video, guys, we shall be taking a look at the 2014 Scooby Doo animated movie, Scooby Doo Wrestlemania Mystery. So without further ado, let's get into today's review. Let's get into it. So I thought then that this animated Scooby Doo movie was solid, was great, as I enjoyed it, as it mixed two of my favourite things, two of my favourite pastime TV shows / hobby things together, which was WWE and Scooby Doo. And what is not to love about that crossover? As they nailed it from minute one to when it ended. It was so big, massive. Obviously, with the superstars at the time they had, it was quite good, as it was goofy, it was cheesy, it was a PG time for WWE, and it was Scooby Doo mix matching with something they'd never have done before, and it made for an awesome, in my opinion anyways, goofy, cheesy Scooby Doo episode, in which, to me, was one of the best WWE crossovers they did around the 10s, as there was a few with the Flintstones, with the Jetsons, and I think they did another one with Scooby Doo as well, which we'll check out later down the line. But obviously I think that this one is my favourite crossover, as it's got everything. And I do enjoy the villain in this one, which is the Ghost Bearers. I thought that was very original. I thought that it brought a lot of different qualities. And the fact that the Ghost Bear was based off a so-called legend that Sin Cara's father or ancestors had versed in the past. And it was sort of how they linked this sort of ghostly bear, and it's the return of this massive, phenomenal character in which we have never heard of before. And that was interesting, and I think this movie also explores more of Sin Cara, as we never gets explained, or gets explored, sorry, in WWE, in which I thought in this, they probably gave him the best storyline they ever did, and that was thanks to Scooby Doo, because Sin Cara was, let's be honest, was shite. But yeah, I think with the Ghost Bear stuff, I really enjoyed that. I thought it was a cracking villain, and quite creative. I thought that the story as a whole was overall brilliant and was quite genius in a way, because you've got to remember, how can they make Scooby Doo somebody who solves mysteries and finds clues and tries to solve these mysteries that are unsolvable, go against these awful massive monsters like larger than life characters, compared to the larger than life characters, the WWE universe? How are you going to mix those together? Perfect. Make a WrestleMania mystery. Who nicked the championship belt? How did this? Who is behind the mask of the bear? And things like that. And it worked. It just worked. It was weird. Don't get me wrong. It's not probably the typical episode of Scooby Doo that you're ever going to see. It's not the typical sort of WWE stuff that we're ever going to see neither. But it creates something quite magical, and for those that have never seen Scooby Doo and you're a wrestling fan, you might enjoy it. It might introduce you into Scooby Doo, and vice versa. If you're into Scooby Doo and you've never heard of wrestling or WWE, this introduces you to that. And I think that's what WWE and Warner Bros aim was, to introduce people to new audiences by using both sets of audiences to create new fans for both sets of big global franchises. And I think by doing that, they probably helped grow their own reputations, their own legacies as businesses. And I think that aspect of things, for money value, they probably earned a lot out of that one movie deal. And then obviously they made more movies with Warner Brothers. But I think that element of things, it worked successfully. Back onto this movie then, I thought that the ending was superb, with Cookie being behind it all. As for a minute there, you thought that, is this bear real? Is this bear real? And because it was like this big ass ghostly figure, but then you've got to remember, Scooby Doo is normally somebody behind the mask, and you were just trying to figure out who it was. At first, you maybe thought it was the guy, the mangy motherfucker, which was sat outside of the woods and sort of hated how WWE was stealing his land. He was a prime suspect for many, but then it turns out it was Cookie, a injured pro wrestler who had to retire due to an injury, and he then gets jealous of all these people he's training up to be WWE wrestlers, and getting the chances that he didn't get, which was competing for that WWE Championship, the company prize of WWE. And I think he just felt that, hang on a minute, why didn't I win that? And he regretted not winning that and felt jealous of everyone else. And that's why he stole the WWE title to try to cancel WrestleMania so that if he couldn't have it, nobody else could, sort of vibe. And I thought Cookie was quite a good and manipulating villain because he made people think that, oh, I'm just a trainer. I'm just trying to train up the new wrestlers, and he explains why he didn't want to train up his son, because he didn't want his son to get injured and feel as sour as he did about the company. And I really enjoyed how he used like hypnotic techniques to lure in Scooby into stealing the belt for him, and used the sort of victory dance of the game to help steal the title. I thought that was quite cool, and something I don't think we've so-called seen on Scooby Doo before. And the fact that Scooby gets framed as well, that is something of a talking point right there. And I think those little things like that made this episode stand out amongst many, as this might have been, well, out of the episodes that I've seen so far, the only one where Scooby has been framed in this sort of fashion of stealing something, and you knew it weren't in his nature. That's why you saw right through whoever's behind its lies was, because somebody like Scooby, and even Shaggy or any of the gang, wouldn't have done anything like that. Finally, then, I thought the likes of Matthew Lillard were brilliant in this movie, the likes of Frank Welker, the likes of John Cena, the likes of Michael Cole, Glenn Jacobs, just to name a few, the likes of Mindy Cohn as well, were also exceptional in this movie, alongside the likes of Santino Marella, The Miz, AJ Lee, and so on and so forth. They were all brilliant in this movie. I think there was great characters, the likes of Triple H as well, that I forgot to mention just there. There were some great voiceovers in this, and you felt the passion from these characters explored into the Scooby Doo universe, and I felt that everything just fitted in. And not to forget Vince McMahon, who also made an appearance in this particular Scooby Doo movie as well, and I felt that he had a big impact on not only this particular movie, but he also had an impact in the story and everything like that, in the flow. And I think this crossover was a huge success because of these big names in this movie, and I think they all contributed to the success of this Scooby Doo related story. To summarise then, this animated Scooby Doo WWE crossover, I thought that it was wild but amazing. The story was well written, but it was simple at the same time. What is not to love about that? It was quite creative as well, mixing these two iconic things together, and the likelihood that would be a success was very slim, but they pulled it off and it was a solid Scooby Doo episode, hence why I've rated this movie a 7.6 and a world-class film. So let me know then down in the comments down below what your thoughts are on this particular movie. Is it good? Is it bad? Let me know down in the comments down below, please. Also, if you haven't already, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, hit that notification bell to be alerted to all the new content that this channel creates. And I shall see you guys in the next one. Laters.